A frantic effort at life-saving after the 911 calls came in about 10:15 last night. Deputies say when they got here, they found 3 victims.
One of those victims was pronounced deceased at the scene. The 2 others were transported to an area hospital. Later on, one of those victims also passed.
Investigators worked into this morning. They'd only say they were following leads when it came to a suspect and a motive. Roger Olfert's daughter is the female shot in the side. He told us it appeared a previous boyfriend didn't like his daughter hanging out with 2 male friends, and that's what led to the violence.
Came over here and threatened him with knives, and they chased him away. And he came back with guns and shot him.
Olfert's lived in this neighborhood for more than 40 years. He calls the gun violence that happened outside his home senseless.
That's crazy. It's stupid. I mean, that guy is an idiot, but as far as I know, he's not in custody yet.
And we've not been told of any arrests made so far. Authorities with the Marion County Sheriff's Office will release more information, including the identities of all those involved, as they're able to do so. Nina, back to you in Portland.
Just senseless. He's right. All right, Tim, thank you. We will continue to follow this story and bring you updates both on the air and online. Go to the news app or KGW.com for the very latest.